Hello and welcome everybody to my Project Cars 2 controller settings tutorial. Since you're searching for this topic, you probably know that racing with a controller, racing with a gamepad was a bit twitchy in Project Cars 1, and I can tell you it's definitely better in Project Cars 2, and those standard settings you're seeing right now are also way better than in its predecessor. But, and I raise my finger right now, it's possible to tweak them to make them better. So, here we go guys. Let's take a look at them. A pretty good addition to the controller settings in Project Cars 2 is this help tab on the right. It's telling you the effect of every single option, so that makes it easier for me so that I don't have to explain those settings for you. Let's start with the steering dead zone, which is set to 7 in the standard settings, and I actually want to have this on 0. Since I don't want to have a range or an area where my input is ignored, I want to have it very comprehensible, so it's the same way from 0 to 100. Only if your controller is worn out a bit, so that you're steering to the left or to the right on straights, even without having input on your controller, then set this to like 5 or 10 or 7 like the standard one is supposed to be. But if not, use 0. I remember in Project Cars 2 we used the steering sensitivity of 0 since it was always too twitchy, too sensitive. But in Project Cars 2 guys, this 17 is not enough in my opinion. I set this to 45 so that the steering input is just faster, that it's better. It really helped me to get faster in GT3 cars, and also GT1 cars felt really good with this option. I think this is a good middle way between having a good turn-in and still not oversteering after having like the first steering input. The throttle dead zone is also set to 10, and here's the same explanation like for the steering dead zone. I want to set this to 0 to have it more comprehensible. The throttle sensitivity is a bit too twitchy in my opinion. I put this down to 10. This makes it less sensitive and just easier to control. And I think I don't have to explain anymore why I put down the brake dead zone to 0 and the way too high brake sensitivity of 75 to 10 as well. I don't really know why they chose 75. This is just way too sensitive and you lock up your tires very fast, so put that down. Since I'm racing with auto clutch, I didn't change those clutch settings, but yeah, I think the theory should be the same like before, so put this down a bit. If you need it. I don't need it, so I'm not changing it right now. The speed sensitivity is set to 95, and guys, this is just perfect. I didn't find a better setting for this actually. I was playing around between a value like 90 and 100. This is also the area where you should set your settings, but I think 95 is pretty good. If you put this down, the car just gets too twitchy in slow corners and also in fast ones, and if you go higher than 95, or let's say 96, the car just understeers too much in my opinion. So don't use 100. Yeah, it's very stable, but you'll just lose time in corners since your car is not steering. So yeah, use this 95 and you should be okay. The damper saturation is not interesting since we're not driving with a wheel. This handles the heaviness of the wheel, the feeling of the heaviness, and yeah, since we're not using it, we don't care. We're coming to the controller damping, which is probably one of the most important settings in this configuration mode. This handles how quickly you can steer from left to right or right to left. So this is also important when you're counter steering and so on, or when you're tap steering all the time. 67 is a bit too twitchy, a bit too sensitive in my opinion. I'm using the value 79. I'm always tap steering out of corners. I'm used to this, and this really helped me to get my car stable. If you're more smooth on your controller, if you're more smooth on steering, then you can also lower this, then you can decrease it. But I think a value above 70 should be cool. If you're going above 80, it's just the same like for the speed sensitivity, the car starts to understeer, so you don't want to go too high. Use 79 and you're probably okay. I want to feel my car. I want to feel when my tires are locking up, when I'm oversteering while accelerating out of corners, so put this controller vibration to 100. We know feeling a car in Project Cars 2 is not the best part of it, and when you put down your controller vibration, it gets worse. So yeah, use a high value, that should be better. And that's it already, since we don't need the minimum shift time. I think this value is not important. And the RPM gear display, yeah, well, who cares? So I hope this helped, guys. If you find better settings, tell me in the comments. I will test them and may do another video with some increased ones. So help the community, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys.